a radio station.
Big Heart, Sweet James.
Sweet James.
Yeah.
So that works. You know, that works. At some point in time, they planted a seed in our mind, and that form of advertising for them is not cheap. It's working. It's working on some level though.
It's honestly, bro. It's the same reason why people used to hand out business cards, because every card that you would hand out is a seed planted. You know what I mean? They may not need your services that day, but eventually, they're like, oh yeah, I know a guy, and you're that guy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's definitely interesting, because it's stay down long enough, but what's too long? Where is there a too long line? Like, is there like, hey, you've been doing it, should you advertise in a specific way for 6 months to see the results, or should you go a year? Is 2 years too long for your results not to change? Is it okay to still get out 2,500 cards and only get 2 callbacks? Like, how are we going to determine where's the line that to say we got to stop throwing money at this? This ain't working.
Yeah. So
how deep is the pockets? How deep is the pockets, and how strongly do you believe in your marketing plan? Because for entrepreneurs like me and you, or for us, the marketing plan is us, top to bottom. So at a certain point, either you know it or you don't. So are you gonna go pay the extra money just for a marketing firm to do it for you, or you can continue to do it yourself? I think we are from that guerrilla marketing, that guerrilla marketing standpoint. So even though I pay that $150 to the guy to do the canvases, I'd much rather pay an employee who has the mouthpiece about the business behind him and let him go knock doors and pay him to do it, because I probably can get a little bit farther. I, a lot of times, have to base my marketing and things based off of Home Depot. So Labor Day, Memorial Day, President's Day, those type of sales. Also, DirecTV. DirecTV got canvassers, dude. They knock on your door. So what's too long? Like I say, it kind of depends on how deep your pocket is, and are you following the right marketing strategy? And I think that's why I came back to say, like, I'm in a market, the type of product that I sell, my competitors, Home Depot, Costco, Lowe's, so they kind of help me set the market. So if they're advertising, it's time for me to throw some ads out there too, because I can catch whatever people, if people don't buy from them, I can catch those customers a lot of time, you know?
I think that you make a good point. Like, you know, grabbing that tailwind from, you know, wherever the big guys are actually asserting their effort. I watched this video of Bruce Lee, and the only thing I remember about this, Bruce Lee said, "Be like water, my friend." You know what I mean? He said, you know, water goes through rock. Water is just so malleable. You know, whatever the conditions are, it penetrates through. And I feel like that's a really important concept with regard to marketing. You know, don't necessarily put all your eggs in one basket. If you were water in a riverbank, you know, the only place that you would go is, you know, in this riverbank, you'd be still. But, you know, if you were water in the ocean, Scott,
or if you
ground's
want to,
the limit. Yeah, you go wherever you want to. You know what I mean? And at that point, you know, you don't have. My opinion with regard to that is, don't put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to marketing.
Especially in today's world where, I mean, look at all these free platforms that we have nowadays. So, KD, should I do canvassing at that $150 a day, or should I just put $10 a day into Facebook Marketplace and reach more people? So, even for myself, like I had to start really looking at, like, if it's not really a new homeowner, they don't need a postcard or business card on their door. I can go on Facebook and try to reach way more people. When Facebook started the advertising programs and stuff like that, kind of naive to, like, I don't need to put no money into that. Like, yeah. Nah. When it switched over to being like the aunties social media is when it got valuable. That's when it got valuable, because it put the consumers who were buying from me, it started putting them on there. Like, okay, now I can advertise and my auntie might see it. Somebody in that 45 to 60 demographic can see it. I think that's another big thing, knowing your demographic, knowing what you're going after. See, for you, a lot of times, well, I can't say for you, but like within your industry, 24 to, like, you have a wider age range. It's like a certain type of client that you want. For me, I usually want that new homeowner that gets me the whole house. So it's definitely knowing where you want to go.
Two things. One, I'm probably, me and you probably, I think we all share pretty much the same demographic of target clients, because we need established people. Like we're not selling. If we selling clothes, you know, we can go with the 24-year-olds that really don't understand value of service. But when we get into like service businesses, I think there's a certain age that really understands service and values it, unless you was exposed at a younger age and then you understood it. But like a 24, 25-year-old person with a Mercedes Benz, they not even keeping nothing clean. Like they room probably nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they not gonna understand spending $100. Like they think like as long as the car is supposed to get dirty type thing. But what I really want to discuss was I always felt like, and we pivot this from the goal setting to more marketing, which is kind of the idea I had anyway. You asked how many topics we was gonna fit in, but I always thought the game was how many cards can you get out for us as business owners. I think the game is advertising and marketing. Like, I think that's the only part. I think that's the only business.
Do you want to give out 1,000 cards or just 10? If you can give 10 to the
10,000.
You want to give out 10,000.
Yeah, I want to be able to say.
I used to be in that same mindset, bro, where it's like flooded. Like if I can buy 20,000 flyers, push all 20,000 flyers right now and hit as many people as I can. But then within that, that's when we start getting a lot of the I don't want this client. So our eagerness to try to service everybody and get as many people in as we want to, we end up wasting a lot of time with people, bro. So it almost makes more sense to like, for instance, if I was doing what you do, bro, instead of me putting business cards on every single door, I might drive until I see the car in the driveway that I want to wash. You feel me? Like, being a little bit more specific.
For us, what we did starting was we only hit luxury cards with cars, right? So we go through a lot. If it was 100 cars and only 15 of them was Mercedes, Porsche, BMW, Lexus, we do those only. Ferrari, whatever, anything above that. And I always thought that was the Louis Vuitton way of marketing, where you see a level, and anybody with a Honda, you see what I'm saying, to be looking, going, man, I want them to come wash my car too. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we used to market, and that's how we changed. And this is what really changed whenever I was telling you earlier, changed my business plan, because it was to get everybody in the area. And then as we started going for the higher end cars, we started realizing that they lease those cars. And when they lease those cars, they'll spend a little bit more money to wash it, but less money to detail it all the way out and all that, because they're getting rid of it in 2 years or 3 years. So before they can really damage it, they're getting rid of it. They're not about to spend $1,000 for me to bring it back to life, and you about to turn that thing back in. So that changed the business plan for me, and that's what that's kind of bringing it back to goal setting. But I always felt like the game was, I feel like it's a flood. I still feel like it's a flood, even though you only want a specific group of people. I think by flooding, you get a chance to hit that person over and over and over and over, because that one card on the door not necessarily gonna push the sale, right? But if I hit that area 10 or 15 times, and this was the plan that I wanted to do, and I haven't even got a chance to do it in my whole business thing, was to put out yard signs too. So like, hey, hold my yard sign in your yard. I'll give you the plan for half the price, and you hold it for the month, right? So by the time I done hit your area with the signs, and then you done drove down the street and seen 3 or 4 of these signs, and then you look on social media and you see what I'm saying, you get hit with it. I thought that all those touch points would make a sale like more sticky. But I also look at like Coca-Cola and McDonald's, like they still market and advertise, and everybody know what they are and who they are. So
They don't stop.
You know, the one thing that stays consistent is inconsistency. You know what I mean? And so the one week that you would blast the neighborhood may not be the week that, those people may need your services. But the same people in those neighborhoods may be going to a wedding or a birthday party or yada, yada the next week. And so I feel like, people's lifestyles and where they are in life at the moment, it changes. And even with regard to the way that Coke and Pepsi do things, they advertise shit every day. Every moment is an opportunity to advertise. And just because somebody doesn't necessarily drink soda doesn't mean it's not still a good reason to advertise, because that person could be throwing a party and may need, 50 Jack and Cokes on their bar within the next week. Who do you think is going to get that client, if Dr. Pepper and Coke is not advertising? That's going to be a Pepsi client. You know what I mean? So it pays to advertise, even when you don't think, that you're hitting your actual target audience. It pays to advertise.
It definitely does.
So,
That's I've made, bro. It got to a point to where I had about 4 trucks, bro. About 3 of them had the advertisements on them. One of them had kind of broke down. It wasn't truck. We wasn't using them on a regular basis. I started parking them motherfucker in front of Home Depot for the whole week. Like sweet sweeper to sweet sweeper. I'm parking it right at the exit of Home Depot on Fairfax. You driving out that Home Depot, you're gonna see the van. And it works. So those little $1,500 vans sitting around, wrap that motherfucker with your logo, put your telephone number on it. If you can park it at Costco while you go in there and go shopping, hopefully you can get right by the front door. Like this right here. Flip my camera. This truck hitting the corner.
Yeah.
He just advertised to me, Kimbella Electronics or Appliances. He just advertised.
Kimbella.
He just advertised. So that's the value of having those work trucks out there. There's this company out here off the highway, and every time I'm driving down to South Carolina, this dude is called Guys Roofing.
Hey, flip your camera back.
Boom, 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 boom. There's this company called Guys Roofing. Dude has the red trucks, white and green letters with a little bit of gold in it. This dude probably has 60 to 80 trucks, bro. And just the presence of seeing those trucks on the highway, it's like, damn, if I need a roof, I know who to call. In the morning time when I was up on top of the hill, when FedEx trucks were going out in the morning, you see 20 FedEx trucks going down La Brea, back to back, back to back, back to back. So I think a lot of times we don't put the emphasis into the vehicles that we're driving as using it as like a great form of advertising. A lot of times, a lot of entrepreneurs still use their personal car for their business card. You get some of them brave enough to put their logos and telephone numbers on them, but any kind of service business, you should have a van, and that van is a great form of advertising.
Yeah. Hey, bro, you know what? Psychologically, more marketing insinuates that you are a more successful business. It's an insinuation, and whether it's true or not doesn't matter. It's like, who do you keep seeing? You keep seeing me, then fuck with me. You know what I mean?
Familiarity.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
so
Be
so
intentional.
so is there a point where you wasting your money? How
Ask
how
that.
are how do we? I mean, they got it. But,
If you're
well,
if you're wasting your money, you have a bad marketing plan.
where? How do you know? Like you getting too caught.
5,000 or better. 5,000 or better. You start getting the 4 to 5 weeks of this one marketing plan, and it hasn't taken off. I think you're ready to start aborting the mission, or trying to move the money that you're using for advertising into a better space. So for me, they have back at home, they have these different apartment owner magazines. I can put an ad in this a half page advertisement for $350 a month, and it's going to bring me all the apartment owners from Ventura to San Diego County. I can be in that many magazines. For me, that works. That $350 is better spent than me spending that $150 for the what ifs with my guy going out. But I can't really knock that $150 that I'm paying him, because his payoff also. So I think you gotta know where to advertise for your business. That bus bench advertising that they do in certain areas for the realtors, that works. I know right now, I've been home in a year. I know ain't nobody at home messing with old girl Stephanie Younger over in Westchester. She got that whole market. So like knowing like that works for realtors. Like it's kind of like putting a stake in the ground, like this is our territory. So I think even for you, bro, with the washers and the details, knowing the community that you want to go after. So okay, I might not want to cover from the 110 to the 105, from the 10 to the 105, from the 105 to the 405. I might only want to advertise right now in Ladera. It might make more sense for me to put all my money into Ladera and say, forget all the other little places for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I think putting your stake in the ground in the community that you really want to do business in is another good thing.
I want to act. So I'll give y'all a real situation that I have, and I have to come to. I don't have to come to agreement, but I want to come to agreement by the end of the year with myself if I'm going to continue in this building. Backstory is I had this building like 10 years ago. I was plugged in with a concierge company. The concierge company is no longer with the building, but I kept the contact. So when they departed, we kind of departed as I had to shift resources around. And then I wanted to expand again. So I ran back through my old contacts, contact the building. They like, oh yeah, we'd love to have you here. So I'm there through management now, right? But I'm not there on the residents' behalf per se. So they didn't it wasn't like an overwhelming cry for me from the residents. But I'm there now. I'm doing the work. And we only getting a few cars a week. And it's like, damn, do I keep on going? Now, mind you, I haven't put much money into the building as far as advertising. A lot of people see us, but they don't.
They don't know you.
Right. They don't. I mean, seeing us for a year straight. They'll wave, they'll get the phone number, whatever, whatnot, but they don't stay there. So I'm going, damn, am I wasting my time here, or should I go get another building, or should I put more money into this building? So that's a tug of war that I have. So I said, okay, by the end of the year, if I don't get to, let's say if I'm at 5, if I don't get to 7, by the end of the year, I think I'm gonna leave. But I also recognize I haven't put any money or any consistency into the building either.
I mean, people really just got back into spending, bro. So that extra buck 25 or buck 50 for a lot of people ain't been on their mind. I think you know the community, you know the building, you know if it has the type of cars in the parking lot that you want to wash already. But I don't think that, even for myself, the day-to-day business hasn't opened back up yet how it was before pandemic, and probably even maybe a little bit before that. So I think probably put a few dollars into it, let the people know who you are so they know they can actually buy the service. Most people probably don't even know that the service is offered to them at this point, you know? The ones and twos that probably came through and you spoke to, they might know, but they don't even know that the management has stamped you guys yet. They might think you just down there off the strength of somebody else in the building. I think stick it out for another few months. Rainy season probably. What do we have a rainy season at home?
It's scant. Look, it's scant. It's gonna rain tomorrow.
Yeah. So
but it's real, for me. I mean, these buildings is covered. It's scant. Like I can't really sit on it.
You know, give them another 6 months.
I think the reason why companies like I'm just using Coke because X that out. I'm not using Coke. I'm using Coca-Cola brand because you used it earlier. So I think the reason why companies like that are so successful, I mean, and there's even mom and pops that are successful like this too, is because there's a personality to the brand, which your brand does have a personality, but it also has that human touch. If you see a Coke commercial during Thanksgiving, you know you expect to see family. If you see a Coke commercial during Super Bowl, you expect to see some sportsmanship. And I think that human touch goes a long way. And I think that them knowing the brand and knowing who you are and knowing why you exist provides a sense of built-in rapport. You know what I mean? If you just your type of marketing is everything. So
that Coke can that they made with everybody's individual name on it was the best fucking marketing ever.
Share a Coke with Kevin. All right. Share a Coke with Brandon. Cool.
Bro, I go in people's houses and see Coke cans with their names on them just because they bought it to sit it to the side like a souvenir. That was the best form of personal touch ever. Mm-hmm. I've been in grocery store, like, bro, it was a phase of my life where I same thing, like, stop drinking sodas. I wasn't drinking Coke like that, bro. And I'm inside of Home Depot, saw one with my name, like, fuck, let me buy it. Drunk it like I was drinking a Red Bull. Go. But I only bought it because it had my name on it. Like, they got me.
It worked. It was calling you.
Called me. Literally called me like, hey, Brandon, this one is for you.
So as business owners, you know, we have to be that strategic because that's who you're competing with. I don't give a fuck if you sell soda or not. Whatever you're doing, add that human touch, add that personal touch, because it goes a long way.
And then once I got the can, I took the picture and put it on social media and boosted their following, boosted their brand even better.
Yeah.
So that personal touch go a long way. I had an uncle who was big and always talked about Nordstrom's, just that white glove service. You know, Nordstrom's, you can buy something, wear to take it back. You can have some shoes from Nordstrom for a year and return them.
Yeah,
that was a hell of a service.
Yeah, but see, here's the problem. Walmart is also doing that. you can take anything back to Walmart, and so. See,
but the difference is Walmart not gonna give you the service. Walmart not gonna give you the service. That's the only thing. You can return it, but you're gonna deal with a ghetto motherfucker for sure. And so, I guess I say that, bro, because I'm from home, bro. So I'm a Target person, bro. I'm Target.
Oh, you Target? You team Target?
Yeah, I'm Target, bro. Like all the way since a kid. The one on Van Ness and Redondo Beach, like that's the first one we would go to, get CDs and everything. Being over here, Walmart is their go-to, bro. I go in there and I hate it. Like,
hey, Walmart depressed me. Walmart food for less. Yeah, them shits is depressing in there, bro. Like, fuck it. I don't know if it's the color of the floors or what. But that shit in there is
you say food for less, bro. You said food for less. Food for less is on Western and Imperial, so less than a quarter mile from my mom's house. My mom refuses to shop inside of Food for Less. I mean, like, it got to be last minute. I just need this. She'd rather go to one of the small little markets than go to Food for Less. So at home, we got to.
Let me ask you guys this then. What is Kroger doing differently between their Ralph's brand and their Food for Less brand? Because it's owned by the same people.
And one is the one is the name. Like the fact that I'm less going in there is like, hey, nah. But it's the shelves. It might be the amount of space because
the lighting. Ralph's use that bright light. Food for Less use them yellow lights. It just feels different when you go in there. You look at the meat package. The meat might be a little brown. So,
I'm gonna tell you this too. Food for Less don't have a self-checkout, but they have a self-bagging. That was the first thing that threw me for I don't want to deal with it. When I had to bag my own groceries, I was like, oh no. I'll go to self-checkout and bag my own shit, but I'm not about to let you scan it because my initial experience with the grocery store was you bagging. So now you like, oh, we gonna save money by you bagging it yourself. Like, nah, fuck that. Like, this ain't it. But
man, I'll go in the grocery store and buy 2 items and still go to the clerk. Job security. And I've walked up to things and they've told me, well, you can get it from you can go to the self-checkout. I said, this is job security for you. Ring that shit up. Like, even though it's $10, this is job security for you, bro. Like, you need to be anti them machines or you're not gonna have no job in a minute.
Yeah, go okay.
I was gonna say, but the difference is Food for Less didn't upgrade with the times.
No.
They didn't revamp their marketing model, their business model, their strategy. None of that shit. It's all the same. Which is, I don't know. If you fail to move and get with the times, then your ass gonna be left behind.
and I think Ralph's own Gelson's too, if I ain't mistaken.
But then
sure.
But then also here we go. That's it's a black eye because of the communities that they put the Food for Less in. So, Ralph's, we got more Ralph's on the outskirts and on the west side than you really do on the inner city, right? Did they close the one on Crenshaw and Slauson? Closed it, right?
Man. Yeah, we gotta go to the Dare Center.
Gotta go to can't beat going there some days, man. That'd be the spot sometime.
Yeah, but now that everybody from the View Park community and Ladera is going to the Ladera Center Ralph's because that's the only one available. It makes me not want to go. So I'm saying me, my wife does all the shopping. So it makes her not want to go. It gets her antsy. You know what I mean? It makes her anxious because there's just so many people in there. The way that they utilize their space inside of the store. I've been in there. It's just not good. It's not good. The aisles are very narrow. So there's not a lot of walking space. Combine that with the fact that it's now extremely crowded, it's a recipe for disaster. And it makes me just want to, tell her to go to Amazon Fresh or, somewhere else that everybody else is not.
Go to the Ralph's in Westchester. Go drive down to the one on Sepulveda. So like growing up, grocery store stuff, like for my mom, like we grew up in a decent neighborhood. Yeah, it was gangs in my neighborhood and stuff like that, but it wasn't a just slum neighborhood like that. It wasn't a ghetto. But my mom, still to this day, she's going to Gardena to go to the grocery store. She's going to Torrance. She's shopping everywhere but her community. Yeah, Manhattan Beach. She's shopping everywhere but her own community. And I think that's something that corporations have to fix to accommodate what they would normally think as lower income and start treating those areas a little bit better because those neighborhoods are still the people who buy the quality. So, my mom, she's quality first. She's quality over price.
And you know what, Brandon, to bring that back full circle, like for what, I'm sorry, Kevin, go ahead. No, I was just going to say that to bring it back full circle with regard to goal setting and business goal setting, it's like I would love to see Kroger's goals for the year and with regard to how they're, going to implement strategic change in communities like ours. You know what I mean? Like that's important because it seems like ain't nothing changed but the rent.
At all.
I was going to say that seems to be by design. They put the more high quality stuff in neighborhoods where they get the money out of the neighborhood, because if you take the money out from, if Food for Less or Superior was built like Gelson's and Trader Joe's, and the shit was turned on the shelves, right? Like that costs money for them to hire, but that also builds up the community, and that's a part of the structural racism that we face through our communities. Is exactly that. That makes a food desert. You see what I'm saying? Now, nobody buying fruit in the hood, so we put all the best produce in Manhattan Beach. You get what I'm saying? But we will buy fruit, but now we gotta go to Manhattan Beach to get the good produce, because the shit you putting in the neighborhood is raggedy. So
so my boys just bought a spot over on Florence. It's called Florence Fresh, and they're reintroducing the idea of eating healthy, farm to table foods. So I'm gonna shout them out. Shout out to them, because they recognize the issue. They recognize what the issue was, and the issue is that we need fresher produce.
And they're located on Florence and what, bro?
Florence, I believe near Florence and 5th, and it's right across from the Winchell's.
8th Avenue.
8th, okay, there it is. There's a big painting on the building that my boy Keenan did. A big painting of Dr. Sebi. It's right on the side of the building.
Okay.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, so goal setting, if we getting back to that.
Yeah.
How as a to-do list, if we was to, how long should we be thinking outwardly? Like minimal time, 6 months, a year, 3 months, and then how many goals should you set within that time frame, or at least maximum amount of goals?
So I'm gonna give you 2 examples, and the first one was for a company I actually used to work for. In November, the owner of the company, his name was Kamyar, really good dude. He would set out goals for the department, for each department in the actual company, on what he wanted to see change. And based on the changes that he wanted to see, he would recommend what the goals should be for that department. And we in the departments were able to, to give him a rebuttal with regard to why that will work and why it wouldn't work. And he did it every November, and it was something to look forward to. It was almost like a letter from the president, because it gave us the sense that he knew what was going on within the company, that he's responsible for, and that he wasn't just one of those absent owners that that didn't really care, that just collected the check, that the business was doing so well that he didn't really care to dabble in what was going on. So, based on that, I actually, among my peer circle, and I'll start including you guys, I started making a directive each year with my buddies. So, the first, so it's 3 sections. The first is business goals. The next is personal goals. And finally, we have philanthropic goals. Because I feel like all that shit is connected. And, in my personal opinion, I need to work on all 3. And so, with regard to timing, usually it's for 6 months, because I know that the goals are so big, hairy, and audacious that it's going to take me more than 6 months to meet. So I'm looking 6 months out max.
And then you said it was what, 3 maximum, which is one in each of those categories, 1 goal.
No, not 1 goal. Shit, honestly, as many as I can think of that will just help me personally, help me philanthropically, and will help me from an entrepreneurial standpoint. So I try to max out at 10, just because I actually want to hit these goals. But if I don't, I don't see it as a fail. If I hit 3 out of 10 is still good.
For real.
Brandon, you just sent me the these
that's the alarm.
schedule.
That's my alarm. That's my alarm schedule. And Mike said it the best, bro. Like business goals, personal goals. Like for me, I think that's one of those things that the balance between both. You got to be able to run your household and make sure you got time with the wife and the kids, right? You got to be able to dedicate your time into the business and give your business enough time. So slicing everything up throughout your day where, all right, you know, you got your family handled, you know that you got your business handled is where I'm at right now. Because it's like for years, I've been able to put from 7:45, the last drop off for the kid, till 8 o'clock. I've been able to dedicate the whole day and time to my business for years. Lately, I've been kind of more focused on my family first, then the business second. So I think if I had to give myself a set time on putting goals together for my family, lately I've been trying to break things down around the kids, like around their school schedule. So I know they about to be out a week for Thanksgiving. We know they're gonna get the winter break. We know they're gonna get spring break. We know they get summer break. So knowing when those time periods come, for me to wind my personal life down to spend time with my kids, right? Take them on trips, take them places, do those things as a father supposed to do first. Then within business, how I had the goals inside my office. Every week, it needs to be at least 2 or 3 things that we're working towards. Some of those things are going to take longer to work on. Some of those things are just going to be quick. Hey, I'm setting up accounts with different companies, and it's just a one task goal. But at least every day, you should have at least 2 big goals on your schedule. Spend at least about an hour of your time working on a big goal, whether it's your company policies, your handbooks, whether it's just interacting with your employees, and then giving yourself enough time to spend time with your kids. So at least 2 big goals a day. I try to focus on myself. And every week I got to go. I should have goals throughout the whole year that I'm trying to hit, because I'm trying to move the business forward so much. I don't necessarily want to do it fast, but I want to make sure I'm doing something every single week. And sometimes knowing that I'm not going to be able to get back to certain things. So until I usually finish one thing all the way out, I try to push the other ones off a little bit until I get done with my big goal.
I was going to ask that. I was going to ask if you, how do you move to the next goal? Does it have to be completion, or do you just say like, all right, well, today I feel like working on this big goal?
The art of delegation. I realize that I don't have to be the person to do everything, bro. So for me, with certain things, if I can pass that task to one of my employees or somebody else to handle for me, I'm gonna pass it. It's more of a collective thing of knowing as a business, like, okay, I got work for my people to be doing sometimes. So sometimes I have goals where I'm not the person who has to walk it from A to Z. Sometimes I can pass it to somebody and let them walk it down the rest of the way as their weekly task. So a lot of my goals that I do set were things that I have to still be 60-70% a part of, but I can let somebody else do some of the structuring of it and stuff like that.
You want to say anything on that, Mike, before I pivot the convo just a little bit?
No, let's pivot.
So it's still within goals, but businesses, I think we all kind of dabble in a few different businesses. Do we? How do y'all feel? Is that conducive to your main business, or does it hinder? Because sometimes I feel like I need to put off projects and just push my company, like my business, nothing else, like stay focused. But then sometimes you kind of feel like, well, I should get another dollar over here. The streams of income conversation, you see what I'm saying? Do those work with each other, or do those hinder?
Is it another stream of income, or is it a distraction?
Probably a hustle, so you could probably make a buck, but maybe the time per se.
Even if it's a hustle, bro, sometimes it's a distraction taking you farther away from your goal. And I had to realize that with, you know, hey, bro, a lot of business ideas get pitched around sometimes. And as a friend, you jump into them like, okay, let's have that conversation. You'll start going down that rabbit hole and you shouldn't even stop focusing on what you were focusing on. So I think identifying, is it a solid stream of income or is this a distraction? Really, really tuning into your heart and saying to yourself, do I want to do this? Am I asking for more in my life or am I asking for less than my life? And I think that's something that you got to ask yourself depending on where you are. I know a lot of times for myself, I'm asking for less. And when that more situation come down, it's like, when I get home, I think it over. Like, dude, I said I was gonna do this, but I ain't feeling like doing this. And really, like, hey, calling your partner or whoever the hustle's with, like, I'm not doing it. It's a distraction. It's taking me farther away from my goals. Will I be pissed off if it blow up and I'm not a part of it? That's the bullet you gotta bite. You know, that's the bullet you gotta bite. So, I mean, just weighing the options. Really weighing the option. Is it truly income or is it a distraction? Because if it's an extra 200, 300 a week, I could probably put an extra hour or two into my own craft and pull that money out. So just identifying that first.
So, you know, this is a pivotal moment in Hustler to Entrepreneur history because I'm gonna have to disagree with Brandon. But not wholeheartedly. I definitely agree with the evaluation, and I definitely agree with knowing if what it is you're taking on is too much for you to handle, or if it's taking you away from your actual focus. I agree with that part. Where I see the opportunity in these other endeavors is that one, it'll feed your creative brain. And sometimes you got to get away from what it is you're focused on in order to bring more value to it a little bit further down the line. Sometimes you aren't going to be able to see what's on the horizon because you're so focused on looking down at, at these steps that you're supposed to be taking. And you're seeing this grass and then you're seeing this water. And then like you will be so focused on the grass and the water that the sunrise is in view, but you can't see it because what you're doing right now and taking those steps to focus on what it is you're trying to get to, that is the distraction sometimes. And oftentimes you need a distraction to distract you from your distraction. And I know that shit sounds crazy, but yeah, I mean, like it's the same reason why people doodle when they're actually listening to people. You know what I mean? Because it opens up another part of the brain. It's the same reason why, you go and play ball after, after sitting down or after a long day of work. You're like, you know what? I need to go and change this energy. And that's really what it is. It's just a change of energy. And that change of energy oftentimes is all you need to get back to what you're doing. And also to move the other endeavor forward too.
So I'm hearing, I heard both of y'all. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring it closer to my company. So let's say my goal would be to have 15 monthly clients at a location, right? But I only got 7. So I need 8 more. But I get another building that call and say, hey, can you come over here and do it? And I'm like, oh, here go a building. You know what I mean? Like I can get a whole nother building that's a whole set of maybe 200 people potential targets. But I go over there and I only get 3. But so should I take that building because it looks like more? Like it's, at this point, it's 2 in the hand. I mean, 1 in the hand work better than 2 in the bush. Like
so here we go. 1 building's in Long Beach, the other one's in Santa Monica.
Right. And the travel time, and I'm already telling you, I'm not putting enough money and stuff into the building that I'm in right now. So
Here's where I would agree with Brandon. Evaluate that situation and realize that it's not conducive to your goals, to your actual strategy. And this goes back to our very last podcast. Know when to say no. You know, even though it sounds good and it could be a great opportunity, evaluate it a little bit more. And if it's conducive to where it is you're trying to land your business, then fantastic, let's do it. But when you ask those provoking questions and realize that this ain't it, Chief, then you leave that shit alone.
Well, now watch this. So is it different because the business was in the same business versus the hustle that's might be totally different?
See, and that perspective, yes, because it's really no, because at the end of the day, it's an extra client. And if you can add that client onto your schedule the right way without jeopardizing what you already have, it's still offering your service, and because it's in the same industry. I think when I spoke about it at first, I'm talking about me in the window covering business, and then somebody's talking to me about selling t-shirts. Two different worlds. The amount of time that I might have to stop to put into that might not make sense. But if I'm talking about, hey, I got a house here in Long Beach where they're buying shutters, and then the other person down the street, they want kitchen cabinets, or the person in Santa Monica wants kitchen cabinets, I'm more compelled to go to that because it's still under one roof. It's still under one entity. So, when we talk about a hustle, like.
So I hear you, and I want to get to this point. So now in each of our businesses, there's other income producing businesses within that business, right?
True.
Should we creatively look to expand our business in that business, or should we do a whole nother business? Not saying that like there's a actual right answer, but at what point, you know what I'm saying? Like you're saying, so just one second, Mike, before you go. Mm-hmm. So I got a card game that I created. Me and Mike sat down and really hammered out. And I need one more step on that card game before I move it into production. And then but I'm like, damn, am I gonna really be able to put in the time that's necessary to do it, or is it just beneficial to just get it done and then worry about how I can market it and sell it later? You get what I'm saying?
So you got Mike, go. You
no,
Mike?
Go ahead, Brent. No, go ahead.
So you got a product, bro. And even though it's a card game with so many different elements, it's one product. So that's not pulling you away from time-wise. Yeah, it's gonna pull you away from putting time that you put in your business, but product-wise and how you're supposed to roll products out is ideal because you're starting with one thing. It's not like you're saying, I got 10 board games I'm trying to drop right now. That means you're in the board game business. You're just trying to launch one product at a time. So with that, it'd be easier to get to a financial goal, an income goal coming in with that one thing. I think that's a one-off. You take those. That's base hits. You take those. For myself personally, I would be good with that. My wife, she set up her daydreaming.com where she started selling candles and like the sages and the incense kind of stuff. And at that point in time, I was reading a book, How to Make $1 Million in a Year. And the whole thing is find one product and successfully sell that one product. Don't create that product, and before you're done creating it, you can really test the waters, start implementing another product. So, all right, you got the card game going, but you ain't launched it yet. You ain't went to the full step to launch that product. You'll be a fool to bring in a secondary product and start putting in time into that because you haven't seen what the first one's going to do. And I think as business owners, sometimes we get that like wiggly dog tail syndrome where it's like, okay, I can throw something else on the plate. And it takes you farther away from what you're trying to do.
Mike.
Yeah. I agree with that. my question is this, right? And this is the only question that I ask before I take on some new shit. How bad do you want it? You know what I mean? So if this is going to take you away from your actual main focus, how bad do you want whatever your main focus is? If it's actually going to put you in, project you into something new, how bad do you want to succeed in that new thing, right? And so this card game is your idea, bro. How bad do you want that shit to go? You've already invested the time in it. You've already invested money in it. Is it worth moving forward full throttle right now? Or is it going to take you away from what it is you actually want to focus on? Or is this what you actually want to focus on?
So
before you answer, okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So before you answer that, I think it's important to put this out there. Me and my boy Sam, we talk about this a lot. What you go through right now isn't for right now. You know what I mean? What you learn right now in business could be for 3 endeavors from now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you could be wanting to put a card game out tomorrow, and then 4 years from now you have this hustleopoly you want to put out, and whatever you learned in compiling this card game will actually put you that much closer when you want to get this hustleopoly out.
Mm-hmm. So now in conversation, I agree with this book that Brandon said he read, How to Be a Millionaire in a Year. Mm-hmm. I always knew, quick backstory, I went into a suit store. It was like a warehouse, suits, 3-piece suits that the church had went to. And I mean, these dudes had every suit, belt, buckle, button, cuff link, the string ties, like anything you can think of, they had it, right? Boxes and shit just stacked in there. And I'm looking, I'm like, dude, if they sold just one of these items, like every item for $1, they would be a millionaire. And I realized, and I say this often, similar to what the book said, you want one thing to sell 1 million times for $1. And then on the other end, I want one thing that costs $1 million that I need to sell one time. So yeah, the product, like you saying, is definitely a go for me. Now, I don't know if I have the time to put into it like I think I should put into it. And I guess that's what Mike is saying. You're gonna, how bad you want it, I guess you're gonna make that time, or you're gonna find that time. But then on the back end, sometimes I go, damn, but if I did put 2 more hours into, I need to hire right now. So if I did put 2 more hours in trying to hire, I could push my current business forward in a way that would, again, free me up for more time to put into the card game. So it's a juggle, but our reason why I bring this up, because I know we all are into different stuff. And I'm thinking, when I look back, I'm not 100% sure on how like Steve Jobs and the Bill Gates and them move, but it seemed like they just poured themselves into one company that they really, really just, they immersed themselves in it. And then I see us sometimes hustling.
So let's talk about that, Kev, because there's a few things that came into the Apple rap. Man, I love Steve Jobs and his story and all the shit that he went through in order to become, extremely uber successful with regard to the products and the service that he put out for Apple. And so we can say that he was engulfed in Apple and getting it, to where it needs to be. But it doesn't mean that he didn't take on different endeavors. It doesn't mean that, huh?
Like Pixar.
Yeah. Pixar, the other computer company that failed miserably. But even before that, he went to Xerox and he saw the way they were using, the mouse, and he implemented that in Apple. He went to China. He saw the way that the rice cooker was used magnetically, and he implemented that into the Apple computer. So, you know, those different, had he not have gone and went on those retreats and been open-minded enough to actually see what was going on in different parts of the world and the way that, you know, different, had he not been open to different opportunities, Apple wouldn't have been as big as it is now, or have as many innovations as it does now, because what he was going through at the time wasn't for what he was going through at the time.
To add on to that, from that book, Business Secrets from the Bible, I was listening to it earlier this week, and dude basically says, nothing is ever done without it at least being two people. You know, so that's our collective that we have, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, all these guys, like the environment that they created to create their products. Like, you know, I think like that Silicon Valley mentality, like we got a house with 6 people in here working towards one common goal. And I think that's one of the biggest things is making sure that within your group and your collective that you're putting together, that you have multiple people working towards that one goal. And I think that's the key to success. All my times that I've been able to be successful, I've done it with multiple people. You know, it's never been me who just got us to the $1 million mark. It's like, okay, it was me, it was Dries, it was my boy Keish, it was my boy Isaiah. We all worked collectively and hit that goal. I might have been the one doing the yelling, they may have been doing the ones doing the rowing, but it's going to take more than just one person to reach these goals, bro. And everybody that we mentioned, as far as being able to hit these success points, it's not just them personally. Like, if you really dig into their story, they got somebody else who was their right-hand man who kind of helped with creating certain stuff. So you got to do things collectively, especially in today's time, I believe.
Mastermind. That's Napoleon Hill thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mastermind. And that's similar to what we create here, which is everything Mike stated. And that was the goal that I seen, was how do we take our personal experiences in our different industries and you gel them into your industry. And, you know, it's probably something else will probably be birthed from this, but getting the full scope, like you're saying, because it's not for right now, it's for later, or it could possibly be for later. So yeah, I agree. So I just wanted to get that out there, because sometimes I do see a lot of people switching fast, because you also notice not staying. I mean, you said earlier, not staying down long enough. A lot of entrepreneurs don't stay with something long enough to see if it's gonna work. So let's say that they do launch the card game, and they're not looking at launching another card game, but they're also not staying
consistent on that.
Yeah, and you like, okay, 6 months, it didn't work. Now I'm doing t-shirts. You get what I'm saying? Oh, or you start selling t-shirts. 6 months, that didn't work. Now I'm doing car washing. You get what I'm saying? Like, because you're not staying in it long enough. Now I
call that's the drowning effect, bro. When you drown it, you're just trying to reach on to something that's gonna work. So it's like, I got a buddy, a real good buddy, but you know, over the last few years, lifestyle done changed, shit like that, getting older. But it's grabbing these different ideas, like, oh, I'm gonna try to do this, I'm gonna try to do this, I'm gonna try to do this. And it's like, bro, it was 2 weeks ago you said you was going in this direction. It's a week later, now you say you're going in this direction. Like, stay true to what you want to do and see it all the way through. So that's why I realized a lot of conversation be 80-90% fluff from a lot of people. Like, you know, a lot of conversation be, oh yeah, I'm doing this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. 3 weeks later, go back to that same person. They not doing that already. So, man, I keep my bullshit separated with me so I can cipher through it to know what's real and what's not.
So I think so. That's the point where it's a distraction.
It's a distraction. Now imagine us trying to partner with a friend or somebody, and they're changing their mind every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That person was a distraction to you. So, you know, it's like, okay, we three like-minded individuals, and I probably can say right now, we can put a business idea on the table. We can put a property deal on the table and work our way through it, where within 30 days, 45 days, we know in which direction that we want to move and stay true to it. But then in 2 weeks, if it's like we went from the mindset that we about to buy land and build on it to, hey man, we need to be buying this flip property, or we need to go into trucking, hot shot loads, or doing this. It's like, I can't listen to you. I can't listen to you too much longer, bro, because you steering me down the wrong direction. So that's when I say distraction, I also kind of mean, well, if it's a hustle that you bring it in on your own, like with the card game, you created the card game, so you were able to originate the original idea, because I know me and you talked about it, and then work it down the production line. Or it's a difference when you come into the business opportunity and it's somebody else's idea, and now you got to try to gel everything together. It don't usually work sometimes, depending on how sometimes it can be that distraction, depending on how structurally sound that person is.
Yeah. One of the quotes that was in this Napoleon Hill book that I read, and I'm just bringing them up because you mentioned them, Kev. He said, a person that's slow to come to a decision will be quick to change their mind, and vice versa. A person that's quick to come to a decision will be slow to change their mind, because they're typically committed. You know what I mean? If you go in, you're like, yep, let's do that. Why would I change my mind? If I know what I want, I'm not changing my mind. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter who's involved. It's like, okay, if this is the goal and this is this is the mission, I'm down with this mission. Let's move forward. But if I'm slow to say, you know what, it's not really what I want, it doesn't check all my boxes, then I'm gonna change my mind. You know what I mean? Because I'm not fully committed. If I got all these questions, I'm probably not the guy you want to do that specific business with.
Like that. Yeah, so it seemed like shit, we covered all the topics. It seemed this was all about goal setting, but I guess they all intersect when it comes down to marketing. Businesses, how often we switch or we shouldn't switch. What's a distraction? What's not a distraction?
One of the books I'm gonna probably introduce next month is one that I read. It's called Rocket Fuel, and it's about partnerships. So I know one of our episodes coming up will probably be about partnerships, but it was one of those things where you got the person who's the visionary, and you got the person who's the integrator to kind of integrate everything. So when you do come together in these collectives, these partnerships, kind of knowing who the visionary is, knowing who the integrator is. And I mean, this book is pretty cool because it gives you worksheets, so you can kind of like structure your whole business out. And I think structure behind any business, whether it's a hustle or whether it's a 9 to 5, whatever it is, you got to put the right structure behind it for sure. And then kind of knowing roles and positions and stuff like that. Titles ain't necessarily needed, but knowing your roles and your positions.
How do you guys feel about the way that they do Shark Tank? They're given enough information to make a decision on whether or not they want to invest, but they don't necessarily know all the goals of the business. Well, I guess at that point, if they're buying in, then they're changing the goals.
So being that we actually went through the Shark Tank process, yeah, with White, it's extensive. So what makes it to TV is not the fullness of the process, right? So what makes it to TV is good for TV, but a lot of the deals are done on the backside. So a lot of the companies that they do buy into never make the actual production for TV. That's one. Two,
they swipe that shit off the market quick, don't they?
Yeah, like they need a certain amount of personality and something that holds TV time. So not all the deals that they get involved in is based on TV. They're extensive. They want every personal, like they wanted my personal businesses, my debts, you see what I'm saying, everything. So their due diligence is through the roof on the company that they buying. They did not invest in us at White. They didn't give us a clear reason why not, but I think they seen that the car wash on demand game wasn't as strong as Uber, because we was patterned after Uber. But if you look at it, service on that platform, it's still not an easy way to scale. And they're usually looking for something that's easily scalable.
Everything that usually goes through a Shark Tank kind of situation is one single product. You know, it's not a business with multiple products. It's usually one single product that person focuses on. So like that's the get rich fast. It's based on product. Like you got that one that I went to a seminar and a person was making $1 million a year off of, and at that time I didn't see them a lot, but the ice makers that make the round cubes.
I'm trying to buy one of those.
Bro, I met one of the companies that was kind of like the leading person in that at the time. And this is about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And then to see where that is now, like nothing but rubber, you know what I mean? A rubber template, you know what I mean? That's all it is. And they're making $1 million a year off of that one single product. So that's kind of like where my mind frame with a lot of stuff. And over the last little bit, I kind of had to go back to like, okay, I got blinds, I got flooring, I got cabinets, but focusing on each product individually and then kind of rolling everything out the right way. But focus on that one product, you'll be good.
Yeah. So Mike, so yeah, when you see them doing a pitch, production and lawyers and all of that is already been contacted, right? So they got a base understanding of what your service is, but they still allow you the time to pitch it to them as if they didn't know everything about it. But there's also questions that happen after the taping as well. So it's really like putting you in like an auditorium and it's like 1,000 businesses in there, maybe 100 businesses. You see what I'm saying? And then everybody get their little 7 or 10 minutes. Sometimes it go 30 minutes, depending on how many questions they got. Shit.
Do they have to sign non-disclosure agreements and stuff like that?
Yeah, you get all that.
Okay.
We have to do video, so you got to put on like a commercial introducing your product. So we had to do a full commercial, hire a crew out. I mean, you don't have to. You can use your cell phone, but the better your chances is. We wanted to, and for us, we just wanted to get on Shark Tank for the exposure. We didn't even care if they bought into us. So they also are looking for that too, because they thinking like, am I gonna buy it or do they really want to sell it? You know, what's their end game? So it's a chess match, but they not dumb in there. Like you expose a lot of your business.
That's the hardest point. That's the hardest point, bro. Like I see so many people probably get fucked out of their businesses going to these people asking for money. They got the money to run the play already. You leave them with brochures, you leave them with enough information for them to kind of have a solid template on how to run your business. And they got the money, so they can put management and all that other stuff in place to make it successful. That's the hard part about pitching your business to people, because like, man, it'd be some good ideas out there, bro. You know that, man, come on now. Everybody ain't playing it fair.
Yeah, I think with the Sharks though, they really don't want to do the business. They just want to be pretty much what I told. Yeah, like they're gonna give you some money and they're gonna put some resources with you to push the business so that it makes sense for them, but they don't necessarily want to do the day-to-day operations. They at this point they puffy. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm bringing all businesses to me, but I ain't running none of them operationally. Like I just know how to. And I think that's what I learned in business. So you get some people who just marketing. So Puffy taking companies in, but he can market. So he's gonna own it, but he's gonna market, but he's not doing the numbers. You see what I'm saying? He's not doing control of hiring and firing necessarily. Then you got some people who good with managing, who take on a few businesses and they do the managing, but they don't deal with the numbers. They don't deal with hiring. So you can be a serial entrepreneur with different companies knowing what your strength is. So I've worked for a few accountants who they do the books. So they look at your books, come in like, I want to own this company, take the company, and they just do the books for all the companies that they own. And then everything else is what they put people in play for. So they're not even a CEO per se. They just want to be ahead of CFO per se. But they the owner of the company. So I think that's another aspect of serial entrepreneur, is knowing if you're a marketing guy, or if you're an organizational guy, or if you visionary, so on and so forth. And you can own multiple companies, but you fulfilling the same role in each company.
We should definitely talk about the importance of being on, a board of directors, and how that helps you as an entrepreneur. Yeah, I mean, we'll table that, but I feel like that's pretty important. I've been on a couple of boards, and you actually learn. You actually learn a lot.
Yeah, man. So Shark Tank, man, I would be more afraid of Google than Shark Tank. Not Google, Amazon. I went to Damon John's, one of his weekend seminars on sales. Of course, he wasn't there. But what it was a the seminars be fluff to get you to buy their product at the end of the day. But what they were teaching was how to sell on Amazon, to be prime, like how to become a prime seller, and the different ways that you can sell product. So that spun into using what's the Alibaba. You get product from Alibaba, and then you turn it around.
This whole Etsy little situation that you got going on now.
Yeah, so they were saying you buy Alibaba, then they got the software that teach you what you should buy and what you shouldn't buy, and how many units per se, how to list it, and then how to be a prime seller. And then it was like, and then you use not Google, but Amazon as the drop shipping, as your fulfillment center. So I think like $3 off of every sale, they'll fulfill inventory, ship, and all of that for you. So it was but in that, they got Amazon Work or Google Work, like where you can put your service on Google, and then will schedule it for you. Yeah, so, and you paying like $6 a month or something like that, and it'll put you on on the page and let people book and everything for you. So I'm like, damn, but they was also had to bring up the fact that a few companies have put like baby diapers or something delivery, and Amazon or somebody will carry them for a few months, and then boom, here comes Amazon's baby delivery diaper business. And you like, hold on, I'm putting my company on there and giving them the metrics that they can turn around, and then they create their own.
Mm-hmm.
Big data, bro. That shit is valuable.
Kirkland showed you that. You know what I mean? Kirkland got diapers, they got wipes, they got water. You know what I mean? That Kirkland lemonade up out of Costco, fire.
Yeah. Competing with Simply Lemonade. They got vodka that they say is on the level of Grey Goose.
Mm-hmm. So I mean that whole Costco business model and shit, Sam's Club. I mean, at the end of the day, you sitting there, you looking at the numbers, you looking at it, it's like, okay, I can go to them same manufacturers and they're gonna make it for me with my label on it. I can just I can sell yours at your premium price that you want. And now I got an ABC, a low, middle, high price scale. And people are gonna go for the middle price scale, which is usually, you know what I mean, their brands. They cornered the market with that. I respect it.
On the same quality level, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the best thing. The quality is there. The quality is always there. Like it's not like they're cheating you on the quality.
Yeah, quality's there and it's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, Shark Tank is peanuts compared to what these corporations is really smashing.
We talked about doing the micro